So I'm so excited to be here with you today. And I'm so grateful to be in community with all of you for our meditation practice. In times like this, oh, excuse me. Okay, sorry. In times like this, there's nothing like community coming together that that helps ground us. So I'm really grateful for all of you today. And I'm going to share a few thoughts of my own and a few words of Tanakh, and then we'll go into a sit together. So a few weeks ago, we started reading as we do every year at the beginning of Torah, at the very beginning of Bereshit. And we saw that the universe began in darkness and confusion, tohu, vavohu. And then God created light, separated the light from the darkness. We read, Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. When God began to create heaven and earth, the earth being unformed and void, with darkness over the surface of the deep, and a wind from God sweeping over the water. And God said, let there be light. And there was light. And God saw that light was good. And God separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness God called night. And there was evening and there was morning of first day. Now we all know as we go through life, there are times of darkness and times of light, both physically and metaphorically. This time of year, we begin to enter into a time of more darkness as winter approaches. The days get shorter, the nights get longer. And for some people, just this change of seasons is difficult. And in these past few weeks, we've entered into a period of darkness for our people, which, as you all know, began with the brutal attack that occurred on the very day we returned to this portion of the Torah, this portion that begins with darkness and with light. And the darkness that we are experiencing continues now with the ongoing war, with many innocent lives lost, and the intense rise of anti-Semitism. So this is what we're dealing with. And I ask myself, I'm a rabbi, I'm a therapist of many years, and also a chaplain. How does this darkness manifest in us humans? I know for myself, and perhaps many of you, we've been experiencing emotions like anxiety, fear, anger, grief, and despair. And I ask myself, how do we gather strength and manage these emotions in order to move forward in action to manifest our Jewish value of Tikkun Olam, healing the world? And what comes up for me is that the only way to combat the darkness is with light. The light that God brought into the world at the very beginning. Light that brings strength, compassion, love, healing, and peace. And so I decided to just search in our teachings for light and wanted to share some of them with you today. And as we read through them, see what resonates for you and what you might want to bring into your sit today, what might be of help to you. And so we'll share screen. Jordan, if you'll share the screen. There we go. So light in the midst of darkness. I began with Psalm 27, in part because I love that psalm, and also because pretty recently, before the High Holy Days, we recite it every day. Psalm LeDavid, Adonai Ori V'yishi Mimi Ira Adonai Me'oz Haya Mimi Afachad. The Lord is my light and my help. Whom should I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Whom should I dread? So, in a time of darkness, looking for light, turning to our prayers, turning to our connection with God. And this is what we do in our meditation. And then I went to Esther. The Jews enjoyed light and gladness, happiness and honor. This is from the Megillat of Esther after, this is Purim, after we were, in great danger. And then and Esther liberated us and we found light. And in Mishnah Pesachim, which is speaking from the Haggadah and talking about Pesach, and it reads, the one who performs for our forefathers and for us all these miracles. This one took us from slavery to freedom, from sorrow to joy, from mourning to festival, from darkness to a great light. And again, it is that sense of being liberated, being saved, and the light that comes with that. And then I turn to Psalm 104, which reads, bless the Lord, O my soul, O Lord my God, you are very great. You are clothed in majesty, in glory and majesty, wrapped in a robe of light. You spread the heavens like a tent cloth. And Psalm 89, happy is the people who know the joyful shout. O Lord, they walk in the light of your presence. So here we are looking to the divine as light, to God, that God's presence will bring light into our lives. And finally, I think there's one more Psalm, Psalm 119. In God's words, in God's teachings that spread light before us and show us the way. Your word is a lamp to my feet, a light for my path. So we can turn to our teachings, we can turn to our values, we can turn to our Torah to find light as well. And we can stop sharing now. Thank you, Jordan. And of course, we all think at this time of year, what is the quintessential thought of light in Judaism is the Hanukkah menorah, which will be coming soon, and the idea of bringing even a tiny bit of light each day into the darkness, and then bravely putting it in our windows to show the world. So hopefully some of these will resonate for you as we sit and breathe and open ourselves to the divine today and look for the light. So I invite you now, if you haven't already, to close your eyes and settle into your body. Notice what feelings are rising up for you or are embedded in your body at this time. Breathe into those feelings and imagine the light flowing into every part of your body. And as you breathe in the light and bring it to those places of constriction in your body. Imagine this light is the light of God, bringing you strength, love, compassion, and hope. And we will continue to settle into our sit with a short chant by Batya Levine.
May I be empty and open to receive the light. May I be empty and open to receive. May I be full and open to receive the light. May I be full and open to receive. May I be empty and open to receive the light. May I be empty and open receive. May I be full and open to receive the light. May I be full and open to receive. May I be empty and open to receive the light. May I be empty and open to receive. May I be full and open to receive the light. May I be full and open to receive. May I be empty and open to receive the light. May I be empty and open to receive. May I be full and open to receive the light. May I be full and open to receive.
I invite you at this time to open your eyes and bring yourself back to this community. Take a deep breath. And join us together. I turn it over to Mark this time.
Thank you so much, Deni. A beautiful practice. And friends, as we do every day, we seal that practice by offering an opportunity for those of you who are in mourning or observing a yard site, if you'd like to recite Kaddish, or anyone who maybe doesn't have someone to do so, you're welcome to do so now. If you're not reciting Kaddish, I encourage you to stay present for the recitation and support those who are with compassion and love and attention. And feel free to put the name or names of those you're honoring in the chat box, either now or after you recite the Kaddish. And if you're joining me, I invite you to do so by rising in body or in spirit, and you can unmute at this time.
Gadol, Ishmei Rabban Barach,
Amen.
Friends, thank you so much for joining us today. If you're leaving us now, we hope you'll be back soon. We'll be meeting tomorrow, led by Kimberly Duenas of Jutina Eco, who is a wonderful, wonderful practitioner and teacher to lead us. And of course, on Friday as well, we invite you to join us to sit into Shabbat together. So important to be together in community and to ground ourselves in this practice as much as possible on a daily basis. Just a reminder, of course, that IJS is also offering the Daily Sit as in podcast form now. The latest episode was released this morning. It features Yael Shai's beautiful teaching from last week. The podcast is called Jewish Meditation for Everyone, and you can find it wherever you get your podcasts. So we hope you'll download that and follow us and subscribe to the podcast and spread the word about it as well. Thanks to our teacher for today, Rabbi Deni Marshall. Thanks to Jordan Pollack for holding our space as always beautifully. And everyone is invited to stay on as always for some conversation with our teacher, or to share reflections about practice, or simply to continue with that practice if you like, and use this time and space to sit together and turn off the sound on your device if you'd like to just continue practicing with us. And for leaving us now, we hope you stay safe and well. Hope to see you tomorrow or sometime soon. If you have a question for Deni, please put it in the chat. I'll keep an eye out for that. I see people, thanks Jordan for putting the source sheet in for people who are interested in that. Deni, I really appreciated this because we're heading now in the second half of the month of Cheshvan, which is in Jewish tradition also known as Mar Cheshvan, bitter Cheshvan, and boy, it's been quite a Cheshvan. As you said, where Cheshvan is sometimes, even though the original name was Mar Cheshvan, it's sometimes noted that it's called Mar Cheshvan, bitter Cheshvan, because it doesn't have any holidays, the next really sacred season we've got is Hanukkah, as you mentioned, and we're daylight savings time ends this weekend. We move to that, so the days are shorter, longer, the nights are longer, darker. It's a tough time, as you noted, for a lot of people. So I actually wanted to start the conversation with since I know you're also a licensed social worker and therapist, in terms of depression, whether clinical depression or something that might be subclinical depression, and how this kind of practice can be helpful in that situation. I mean, many of us, find what's happening also, of course, conducive to that as well, despair, hopelessness, etc. Any words you have on that, on how to use this practice to help meet that?
Yeah, probably a lot. But try to keep it short. I just want to note one thing that is in the chat first that Susan G put in the chat. The broken places are where the light can shine through. That reminds us of Leonard Cohen, there's a crack in everything and that's where the light gets in. And I think that for so many people who are in depression, whether you say it's clinical depression or feeling depression or despair, or it's really trauma right now. It's, trauma because it's not something that most of us ever expected to feel. And so this when we work with those kind of things, whether it's clinical or not clinical, to work from a mindful place is really helpful. Of course, one of the most important things also is expressing the feelings that come up and acknowledging them. And so that's part of our mindful practice. We don't push them away. We notice the feelings that come up, and I always go back to Sylvia Boorstein, and treat them really gently, because you can't just push them down and you can't just push them away. So when we breathe into those feelings, and also many people that I've worked with, when we work with a mindful practice in reaching out to whatever their sense of God is and divine for some support. The other thing I'd like to say is it really, really, really helps to do it in community like this, or any community that you have that you can sit together, so that you have that sense of being held. You're not alone. That's one of the most important things of dealing with these emotions that are coming up right now for all of us, that we're not alone. And I'll just say, for me, I know that some of the places of light that have shined in the last few weeks has been when people have reached out to me that are not Jewish, that have reached out to me with words of love or with hugs. And so, if you have a community as well that isn't part of this community that's feeling this trauma, let them know what you need and let them be there for you to hold you. And that also helps bring in the light.
There's a question from Lori. Maybe I'm not sure if I'm getting the question, Lori, but I'll just repeat it here or lift it up for Deni. Lori wrote, as I sat into this beautiful practice, all kinds of mixed emotions arose. As I allowed the divine light to shine in throughout my heart and body, a clear question arose: what is my Torah? What is most important for me to shine out and in? I felt sad and lost in these times. Would you please offer some guidance?
Yeah, I totally relate to that, because as I don't know, I've been getting so much lately. I don't remember who said it so beautifully, and I really believe it was someone from Israel, that right now we're holding two very different things within us. And how do you hold both of those things? And I think that's what you're asking. What is your Torah? Is your Torah, run, protect, defend? Is your Torah love, heal, send out loving into the world? Well, the truth is that's all of our Torah. We hold it all within us. And I would say right now, acknowledging that, allowing that to be, allowing whatever those feelings are when they arise, and just sitting with that and maybe asking God, please give me some guidance here and send some light into, where I need to be. And the truth is, I do believe from what I'm hearing for people actually on the ground in Israel, that we have to hold it all. Just hold it all and be real with it. Right. And that's so hard, so hard.
There's a question from Lauren, I think it's shared by many, which has to do with intergenerational trauma. And you mentioned trauma in relationship to depression. What would you say about that, about what are effective ways? I was thinking that what Zach Newman offered us on Monday, where he invited people just to look around their space and to really notice and stay with 5 specific things that they see, things that we can hear, using the senses basically to locate ourselves in the moment. I think to instill a sense of safety. But are there any other suggestions you have for both recognizing intergenerational or epigenetic trauma, or how to meet that when we notice it?
So first, and I think that's very, very real. And as Andrew says here, it's in the body. It's really interesting because one of my clients is in interfaith marriage, and she brought that up to me. And she said, my husband's really strongly Jewish, but he doesn't have these same feelings I have. And, I was explaining to her, this is in our bodies, that it's been, set in from the time we were little in our families, the intergenerational trauma. So how do you deal with trauma in your bodies? I mean, there's definitely, if you're feeling extreme trauma, I would go to a trauma therapist, because there are different methods that they use that are very, very effective, from EMDR to some, psychedelic drug therapy. So if it's really extreme. But for the rest of us that are all feeling it and maybe not that extreme, I love that idea of staying focused on choosing those 5 things. That is a therapeutic technique that we use that keeps us focused on the present, on the now, on here, touching yourself, feeling yourself in this body, in this time. And then what Mark said earlier, I think is also very helpful, is taking one thing that you can feel grateful for and just holding that and focusing on that. And when you notice that your amygdala is taking over and you're just running into anxiety and fear, going back to that practice. And sometimes for some people also what really helps is just stopping and breathe and counting in 1, 2, 3, 4, hold it, 1, 2, 3, 4, let it out, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that helps. It helps the anxiety calm down.
Yeah, thank you. I think just adding to that list, I think, is a lot of self-compassion. And some, like you said, I think some people, I certainly recognize that. I recognize in my own body, I more than ever in my life. These events have brought that to the surface for me. And I recognize that everybody has that same experience also, but it is helpful to see that and say, oh, that's real. I'm not imagining that. I'm not making it up. I'm not crazy to think that or to feel this way. This is actually what we're feeling. So both crediting that and saying, this is the truth of my experience and compassion, and being able to affirm it, to validate it, and to also, I think the other thing you mentioned, Deni, is that like many of us are still in a like just basically grief-stricken. We're brokenhearted, and in Jewish tradition, there's a whole progression of periods of time for moving from a place of grief to anything beyond that. You know, where permission and space is given, but events are moving very quickly and at the same time. You know, so it's very difficult to hold all of that at the same time. The need or desire to react or to have an opinion or to figure things out, as opposed to simply being with the feelings. So we need to be, I think, also quite compassionate and gentle with that too, and that it is possible, like the Bhakti Lavin song that you shared with us, which maybe might be a nice way for us to end, is to sit and listen to that again, and to capture that paradox of being empty and full at the same time, is really very powerful.
Yeah, I mean, we could really go into that. You know, we feel empty because we feel helpless. We feel full because we feel full of all these emotions and these images and the grief and the trauma, and still trying to receive the light within that. And for me, the one thing that I'm really trying to hold on to is, and in some of the quotes I gave them from, from Purim, from, Pesach, is, we've been here before and we've come out into the light, and we have to hold on to that. We have to hold on to that.
Yeah. All right. So why don't I share that one more time? I'm putting the link also for people who'd like to revisit it. Thanks for sharing that. It was a beautiful way to ease into sitting, and it was really nice to have that extended period of silence today too, Deni. Thank you so much for that. So friends, let's just sit with that. It's very short. It's less than 2 minutes. Let's take a couple of minutes just to sit with that beautiful Bhakti Lavin chant of
and open to receive the light. May I be empty and open to receive. May I be full and open to receive the light. May I be full and open to receive. May I be empty and open to receive the light. May I be empty and open to receive. May I be full and open to receive the light. May I be full and open to receive. May I be empty and open to receive the light. May I be empty and open to receive. May I be full and open to receive the light. May I be full and open to receive. May I be empty and open to receive the light. May I be empty and open to receive. May I be full and open to receive the light. May I be full and open to receive.
Well, I'm sending prayers and love for all of us and for all that we're holding in our hearts.
Thank you so much, Deni. And thank you, Jordan, for holding our space. And thanks to each of you for being here. We hope to see you tomorrow for practice with Kimberly Duenas